Today, we're going to be talking about online communication. So, that's going to be everything from social media, instant messaging, even online dating. My name is Gonzalez. I am from Search and Care. We are a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to helping older adults live independently in their local communities through our case management, socialization, and educational groups and programs such as Silver Circles. We provide folks with one on one and group assistance. We mainly prioritize one on one help because we know we can have a session. There may be lots of questions. There may be some times where you're a little hesitant to ask a question. So we really value our one-on-one assistance because you can ask as many questions as you would like to a matched volunteer. We can do home visits. You can meet us at our office. We're located on East 94th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. Or we can meet you at a community center if you like, a library, a cafe, whichever you would like, we can make that work. So what is considered online communication? Let's break this down. Online communication is anything where we're speaking with someone, whether that's in a group setting, a one-on-one setting, anything like that, but it's happening on your mobile device, it's happening on a computer, it's happening on a tablet, it's happening over the internet, essentially. What are the benefits of online communication? When we were in the middle of the COVID lockdown, this was a time where not many folks were getting that socialization. The one good thing, I guess you can say about that pandemic is we now have platforms such as Zoom where we can communicate with one another in a group setting, in a one-on-one setting, but we also have other applications such as WhatsApp and Facebook to allow us to stay in touch with friends and family. I have some clients that do a weekly Sunday gathering over Zoom. That's happened ever since the lockdown. That's one of the positives there, I guess you can say. But other than staying connected with your friends and family, you can get access to information. So that's news, health information, entertainment, all at a touch of a button. So that's the great thing about these applications. And another thing to mention, all of these applications we're going to be discussing are entirely free. The only caveat is that the other person you're trying to speak with on these platforms may also need to have the same application on their phone or device, but we'll get to that. Also, entertainment and learning. So you could do online games with each other. There's like multiplayer games where you can do chess online with someone. You can watch videos, look at food recipes, and educational courses, sometimes like Smart University, where you can find things like that through social media. Let's talk about the types of online communication. Each type of online communication serves different needs. The first one we're going to be looking at is social media platforms. So that's your Facebooks, your Instagrams, the Twitters, all of that. That's the main social media platform. And then we're also going to be discussing instant messaging. Those are the applications or programs or websites that allow you to do that one-on-one communication with someone either over the phone or over video. And that's WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Telegram. Then we also have video calls. So I think everyone may be aware of Zoom. And unfortunately, we're going to have to remove this from the presentation moving forward. Skype. I don't know if anyone's recently heard that Skype is no longer with us. I loved Skype. I'm surprised that it did not flourish during the pandemic because you could just call people up at the click of a button. It was super simple. But besides Skype, we also have FaceTime for any Apple users there. Also, we're going to be discussing online forums and discussion boards. Those are on websites such as Reddit and Quora, and also location-based community apps, which I think a lot of folks will be interested in. Those are applications such as Nextdoor or Meetup. And then last but not least, we're going to be discussing online dating, which is Bumble and Hinge that we're going to be hitting on. What is social media? It's a way to connect with people, share updates, and find information using the internet. That could be a website, an application where you post a message, a photo, or a video, or you can even join a group. So if you're a dog lover or animal lover, there's groups for you on Facebook or even WhatsApp. So we'll be going over that in a moment. So how does social media work? The way this usually would work with a website is that you would first need to create an account. And once again, totally free. What that means is that you're going to create a username and a password for yourself. A username is just the display name, what you would like people to recognize you at. If it's cutie-pie123, it's cutie-pie123. Just keep in mind that you may have a name that you may want to use that may be taken up. There can't be duplicates. So if there's a John Smith, you can't have another John Smith as a username. It would have to be, instead of John Smith, maybe it's John Smith 1950. And then we can see if that's usable or not. Whenever you're creating an account on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, it will let you know that you can't use this username because it's being used elsewhere. So you may have to be a little bit more creative in your username. And then the password is something that you should remember, but it should be a little bit tricky for someone else to guess. You can use uppercase, lowercase, numbers, characters. So that means like exclamation points, the little at symbol when you're trying to at gmail.com or whatever. You can use those characters in your passwords to throw people off. So after you do that, you can then add friends or follow people to see their updates. When you create that account, you're going to then see people's posts start populating your feed. And we'll be going into that in a moment. After you do that, you can then post messages, photos, and videos for others to see and comment on, if you like. There's some folks that just join Instagram just so that they can see photos of other people. But then there's people that just join Instagram to solely show others their work. Totally up to you what you would like to do there. And then ultimately, you can join groups or follow pages that interest you, such as hobbies, news, or health topics. What are the applications that are considered social media? So we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, now considered X, we have WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, YouTube, and TikTok. These are all considered social media. So let's start breaking these down a little bit more in terms of the features of social media. These are some terms that you may hear on a consistent basis from others. Commenting. What is commenting? When someone says that, think of it as stating an opinion. When you're commenting on someone's post, let's say someone put an article about animals, why you should adopt animals or rescue animals. You can comment on that. You can type, oh, that's a great cause. And then you can let others know about that. So you're stating your opinion, and then people can either like your comment, dislike your comment, or whatever it is. Next up, we have the feature of private messaging, or others like to call it direct messaging or DMs. I don't know if anyone's heard this phrase before, but if anyone's ever heard maybe their grandchild mentioning that someone slid into their DMs or whatever similar terminology, that just means someone's trying to chat with them on a one-on-one basis. So instead of commenting on a post, if you wanted to say to someone in a private setting that dog rescue is a good cause, you can do that as well in a direct or private message. Social media also allows you to share interesting news, articles, or blog posts with your friends. And you can either post the link on your profile. So if you wanted to share an article link on your profile, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, you can do that. You can also upload and share personal photos or videos, and you can do these publicly or privately, because there's some times where you would prefer just a couple of folks that are following you only to view this. Because keep in mind, whenever you create your account, whichever platform it's on, it's going to start off as public. So anyone can view that. But you can also change the settings to make it private so that you can decide who is allowed to see your information or your posts or any articles that you would want to share. But we're going to get into those details in a moment. Now we're going to start breaking down these applications, starting off with Facebook. This is the most commonly used social media platform out there right now. This is the best way, in my opinion, to stay connected with friends, family members online, just because whenever you create a Facebook account, Facebook tries its best to show you recommendations of other friends, or other people, I should say, that you may be friends with in real life. So let's say whenever you're using Facebook to log into your account or to create an account, and you use your email address that you've had for years and that you've talked to many people on that email account, Facebook is going to recognize that, and it's going to say, hey, you may have talked to this person in the past. Would you want to connect with them? And then you can go from there and see that you can make that connection with the other person. What that is usually called is the algorithm. If anyone's heard that term, that's what it usually is. It's trying to find the best things that interest you, that may benefit you the most. So you may see those friend recommendations. Besides that, Facebook is great for sharing updates, photos, videos. As you can see on the screen here, some of these screenshots, you can see that Sherry down here on the first image to the left, she says she had a lovely time at our ride together last weekend, although definitely a tad sore after. Looks like the sun will be out for our next one. So she's making a post out for her friends, and if someone likes it, you can like that post. You can comment on that post like, oh, I'm glad you guys had fun. Or if you don't like that post, you can block them or mute them if you wanted to. So that's also another option there. If you don't like anything that you're seeing online, there are ways of preventing you from seeing that again, either by deleting the post or blocking the post so you can no longer see it, or other options available. We'll also get into that. You can stay informed about news and events. Use the messaging feature for video calls and direct communication. That's something that folks are not aware of, that Facebook has something called Facebook Messenger, where you can also speak with others one-on-one. We're going to be going over that later on. So this is Facebook. Next up, we have Twitter, or now it's called X. So this is a social media platform where users can share short messages, and these are called tweets. You're usually limited to 280 characters. In the past, it was 140, and a character is just a letter, a number, even even a space in your message counts as a character. So 280 may sound like a lot, but as you're typing, even just one word may have like up to 15 characters in it. So just keep that in mind. You have to be very concise with your messages here, but this is also a great application for following news. It's so strange nowadays how mainstream media, as people are calling it, is a little bit slower to get you the information right away as opposed to Twitter. So for instance, if there's ever, unfortunately, a catastrophe happening, Twitter is usually the first application to be aware of this because everyone on the app is sharing those details. And so Twitter makes it very easy for folks to be aware of these types of incidents or events through something called hashtags. So you can like and comment messages here. What that means is on these images, or on this first image here, there are some comments that people are making, and then there's some numbers associated with those comments right below. Those are either comments, the number of people liking a post, things like that, but we'll be going over that in a moment. So this is best used for quick updates, following trending topics, and participating in public discussions. It's very interesting on Twitter or X, the conversations that are going on and the ones that you can contribute to. So I would suggest if you're interested in getting any updates like that, feel free to make an account. So next up is Instagram. This is a social media platform for all the photo lovers out there, I would say. This is a platform mainly focused on sharing photos and videos. You can follow folks that are taking pictures at Spain, nature hikes, pets, once again, even cooking recipes, like a step-by-step, like photos for cooking recipes, or even a video on a cooking recipe. It's great for that as well. And then you can also comment, similar to Facebook and Twitter, you can comment on these photos too to express your opinion on it. If it's a nature hike, you can say, oh, that's such a beautiful sunset. I wish I was there. So that can be a comment that you post, or you can just like the post just to let the creator know that you're acknowledging them and that you're aware of their photo and you like it. It's always a great way of engaging folks. It's visually oriented and it's easy to use for, I would say, a majority of our clients I work with social media. A lot of folks prefer Instagram just because it's simple, it's visually appealing. So it's up to you, but I would say that it's best for staying connected with others or groups or your interest through photos and enjoying visually engaging experiences, especially for things that you haven't seen yet. Like, whoa, I didn't know that this animal exists or that this location exists out there. I want to go there. So it can spark some creativity sometimes as well. So next up, we're going to be discussing instant messaging applications. These are the applications that are able to allow you to send a text message to someone, to send a video, a voice message in real time. It's sort of like sending a text message to someone, but on a wider scale. All of these programs that we're going to be talking about are free, but in order for you to speak with the other person, they would need to have the same application downloaded as well. So just keep that in mind. We're going to be first talking about the most popular application for instant messaging, I would say right now, and that's WhatsApp. If you're aware of WhatsApp, or if you're not, it's essentially a way of sending text messages to folks in terms of a one-on-one setting or in a group setting, especially if you're speaking with folks that are outside the country, because WhatsApp uses Wi-Fi to communicate with people. Let's say you have a phone plan with limited amounts of minutes. As long as you have a connection to internet anywhere, you can make a call to someone without losing those minutes. So just keep that in mind, that this is a great way of saving money if needed, if you're limited on minutes or whatever your phone plan allows. So WhatsApp is a great supplement, I should say, to this. The main features are to send text messages, voice messages, and photos and videos to folks, make video and voice calls, and create group chats. Like I mentioned before, where there was that one client that does weekly Zoom sessions on Sundays, the way they coordinate is through WhatsApp. So they make a group of maybe 5 or 6 family members. They say, hey, is everyone available on Sunday? They type it in the chat. Everyone's able to see that. If you look to this image to the right, this is someone's friends group. And it's with Ned, Jane, and ourselves. As you can see, there's a message from Ned saying, haha, that's so funny. I am laughing. And then right below that, you have Jane. She's also messaging on what's happening in the chat itself. So you can have a full-on discussion with up to 100 people in one space. So this is very valuable. Another aspect that is very crucial for some folks is the fact that there's encryption, or end-to-end encryption, as some would say. But all this means, every application that we're talking about today is secure. This doesn't mean that you're going to lose your information or anything like that. But if you have an apartment door, sometimes you're okay with just having one lock. Others would like to have 2. Some may want 3 or 4. Having WhatsApp WhatsApp is sort of like having an additional lock on your door, just because of the fact that anything that you're typing to either one other person or a group of people, only they can see that. There is no way where a staff member from WhatsApp can view those messages and go from there. So I just want to set that up for folks just so that you're aware. For any WhatsApp users, when you're creating an account, you need to provide a phone number. I know there's some of our clients that would love to have WhatsApp, both their phone and their tablet on one account, but that's not possible unless they would want to switch accounts every time they want to switch devices. Because if you have one phone number associated with your phone, but you don't have a phone number for your tablet, you can't use WhatsApp. So just keep in mind, especially for folks that want to use WhatsApp on their tablet, you have to have a SIM card in your tablet and have a phone plan available so you can utilize this. I just want to emphasize that as well. So you do need a phone number associated with your device to make an account. This is going to be best used for folks that want every day or every other day communication with friends or family and group chats. Next up, we have Telegram. And this is actually a newer type of system or application, I would say. This is similar to WhatsApp, where it's another secure one-on-one or chat room application. So very similar to WhatsApp in its features, but the idea here is even more safety. So you can set up messages with someone. If you wanted to be very private with someone, you do have the ability to create a chat with someone one-on-one with an expiration time. Let's say I would want to chat with Miss Johnson. What we wanted to talk about over a text message was very private or had sensitive information. So we could set it up where in 2 hours after Miss Johnson has seen my message, it will automatically delete so that no one would have access to it afterwards. So just keep in mind, those are called secret chats. And there's been more and more applications applying this to their messaging, but Telegram was the founder of that. So they really did start with that safety first idea regarding their messaging. This is best used for privacy conscious users, large communities, and accessing messages from multiple devices. So, like I said before, with WhatsApp, you would have to use a different device or have a different phone number if you wanted to use the application on your phone and your tablet. But for Telegram, if you have multiple devices, you should be able to use Telegram on all those devices without any issue there. So just throwing that out there if that's something you would prefer as well. Because I know there's some folks that would love to have text messaging on their phone, but then when it comes to video chats, have it on the tablet because of the larger screen available. Next up, we now have Facebook Messenger. We talked about Facebook before. I mentioned briefly that it has another feature where you can message people one-on-one. This is a great application if you're already on Facebook and if you're talking with people through commenting or whatever. This is the perfect supplement to continuing those conversations with folks over Facebook through Facebook Messenger. So keep in mind, you do not need a phone number to access Facebook Messenger, and I believe you don't even need a Facebook account necessarily. You can just have a Facebook Messenger account and that should work just fine. It's the same idea with WhatsApp and Telegram, but there's little cute features in there, such as you can send people stickers, or if you look to the photo on the right, you can add filters. So the gentleman right here that says hashtag almost 30, he put like a little filter of little sunglasses just for fun. So you can do little things like that. I would say, once again, that it's best for those that are already using Facebook and are chatting with folks, or they want to evolve their chat even further. This is a perfect application to do that with. And you can also video and phone call people. Me and my mom, we use this app all the time. This is, instead of using our regular Android text messaging, we just use Facebook Messenger for that. So feel free to do that as well. It's up to you, but entirely free. Next up, we're going to be talking about video calls. We sort of discussed that briefly, where the instant messaging apps allow that. But let's get into a little bit more detail here. These applications are going to allow you to do face-on-face interaction. So making conversations a little bit more personal and enjoyable compared to just over the phone where you can just hear each other. And remember, these can also be used for doctor visits, online events, or even learning new skills. So you can always take advantage of these if you like. I always say all of these applications are tools that we can use in our day-to-day, but it's ultimately up to us how we would want to use it. This is Zoom. This is the perfect video conferencing application for group sessions. It works on computers, tablets, and smartphones. And this allows us to create one-on-one sessions with others. But keep in mind, the one thing about Zoom is that if you do have a free account with Zoom, you are allowed to schedule a meeting with someone to have a conversation with them, but you're going to be limited to 40-minute sessions. This doesn't mean that you can only do one 40-minute session in a day. You can set up as many sessions as you like. It's just going to be a little annoying that it's going to be 40 minutes long each time. If both you and the person you're speaking with have free Zoom accounts, you are going to be limited in how long the session is for. Once again, this is a great application just because there's a chat feature, there's closed captioning. If anyone needed transcriptions, that's available as well. This is best used for virtual meetups and staying connected with loved ones and participating in online events or classes. Next up, we have FaceTime. This is a video conferencing application that's available to folks that have Apple products. If you have a Mac, if you have an iPhone, iPad, you are able to utilize FaceTime. The way this works is that you can go into your contacts list, and then if you have Michael that you want to speak with, you just tap on his name, and it should give you a couple of options, whether you want to do a video call or a phone call. Instead of saying a video call, it'll just say FaceTime. And all you'll do is click on FaceTime, and it'll ring the other person, where you can then have a little session like the images you're seeing on the screen right now. When you get on the screen or when you're speaking with someone, if you look to the image on the left, there's a large image of this gentleman, and then to the bottom right, there's this little rectangle with the person that they're speaking with. In this example, the smaller screen, that is us. The one on the larger screen is the person we're speaking with. The image on the right, this is the same idea, but in a group setting. So you can actually call up multiple people and create a video group, but similar here, there's a smaller square image on the bottom right. That's the person that called everyone that's using the chat feature, and then everyone else on the screen is just a participant. It's very clear audio and video quality, and it does work across all other Apple devices. So if you have someone using FaceTime on their iPad, you can have someone on their iPhone FaceTiming you as well. And then you can have a third person FaceTiming from their MacBook. You can use FaceTime throughout all the three main devices for Apple. This is going to be best used for Apple users who want a reliable and simple way to connect face to face. And so we have the Android side of things here, where this should be already in your phone itself, or the ability should already be in the phone itself, where, like I said before, if you're in your contacts list for your Android device and you're seeing all the names, once you click on a name, if you look on the image to the right over here, this is just an example name. It says BitNet Official, but just imagine that says Mary Sue. So we have a couple of options here. We have the option to either call the person with that little phone icon. There's a little text message icon with a little speech bubble, but then there's also video. And then all we have to do is click on video, and then it will ring up the other person, letting them know that they want a video chat. Let's say the person is on an Apple device. You won't be able to connect with them, unfortunately. If you have WhatsApp, the other person needs to have WhatsApp. If you have FaceTime, you both need to have an Apple product. For Android video calls, you both need to have an Android device to make this video call. You will know that you're not able to make the video call with someone if this little button next to their name, that little video icon, is shaded out. If you're not able to click on it or tap on it, it's not working. That lets you know that the person on the other side cannot do a video chat with you. So just keep that in mind. Now, these are really interesting communities or applications. These are location and interest-based communities. These are designed for groups where people with common interests can connect, share, and interact with one another. So let's start off with Facebook groups. Let's first look on the left side here. So this is just an offshoot of Facebook. If you've created a Facebook account, this is going to be available to you. This is just called Facebook groups, and you have the ability to join either private or public groups for discussion. That's for like hobbies, any family members. If you have a private group, you can do that as well. Local communities, church communities, or any faith-based communities, it's great for that as well. Medical or any health-related topics. So if you're dealing with a particular medical condition and you're looking for others that may also be dealing with that condition or may have some discussion behind it, this is a great resource. We have a couple of clients on our end that have searched for a particular chronic illness that they're dealing with, and they were able to find groups associated with that so they could have further discussion. So just keep that in mind too. If we look to the right side here, there's a couple of cute dog photos. This is actually from a small breed rescue and adoption network. So what this is a group of folks that are either a part of rescue groups or animal rescue groups, and they usually post post articles or any information about dogs that need rescuing. They will make a post just like this one where it's an image of a dog and they're like, hey, Sally needs to be rescued before whatever it is happens. So people, they can comment on the post. They can say, oh, Sally looks so cute. I hope she gets adopted. Or where are you located? I'm very interested in adopting this dog. This is where a lot of the features from Facebook come into play, because if you comment on this post saying, oh, I can take care of Sally, what's your information? You can then go into Facebook Messenger for a private one-on-one chat with the person that posted that message, or the one that posted Sally needing a rescue. So just keep that in mind. A lot of the features on social media platforms, they are intertwined, so they work together. These are tools that you're able to utilize in whichever way you feel necessary or fit. This is going to be great for hiking groups. There's food groups. Whatever interest you have, there's a group for it. Nextdoor. Now, this is fairly recent, I would say, compared to Facebook. This is a very interesting app, or website, I should say, where it's sort of like a virtual neighborhood bulletin board where you're able to post information specifically in your neighborhood. It's like Facebook, but if you had groups by neighborhood. So if you had an East Harlem group, if you had an Upper East Side group, Upper West Side, whatever it is, there's a Nextdoor neighborhood for you. So this is a virtual neighborhood bulletin board, like I said. You can share news, ask for recommendations, and connect with your community. This came in handy for me a couple of weeks ago when a cat randomly came into my apartment and I was trying to figure out who this cat belonged to. So I went onto Nextdoor. I posted in my neighborhood, hey, I found this cat, took a photo of the cat. Is this anyone's cat? And I would obviously say, please, you would have to provide evidence of it being your cat, or proof, I should say. But it's a great resource. Fortunately, it was just a neighbor's cat. I was able to solve it. But this was a great option for me if I needed to post at a specific neighborhood to let people know that this pet was lost and now someone found it. Can anyone find the owner? Or let's see where we can go from there. But once again, this is great for if you need any recommendations on cleaners. There's some people that say, hey, I need someone for 2 hours a week to help me organize my clothes. Who can help me out? Or does anyone have any recommendations? Since you're posting in your neighborhood, you can get some great recommendations that way as well. The world is your oyster on Nextdoor. If you need to ask whatever it is, any recommendations or any places to go just to have fun, perfect place to do so. This is going to be best for folks that want to stay up to date on what's happening around your neighborhood. Meetup.com. Now, this is a great website if you want to have a physical meetup with someone or some group. This meetup.com is a website that helps people connect with others who share their interests. This allows users to join groups and attend events, both in person and online, like a Zoom group or an in-person group. You can search for groups based on your interests. So if you like a walking club, book clubs, social meetups, a board game group, it works. If you look to the right side, there's a couple of options here for us. This was back in February that I was looking this up, but there's Let's Practice Mandarin and English. So there was someone doing that on February 13th at 6:30. There was a discussion about curiosity, and you can actually look up these events by distance from you. So if you say, I'm willing to go all the way up to Brooklyn for any events, they'll provide you with all the events going all the way up to Brooklyn and no place further. So just throwing that out there. I've used it myself for meditation groups. It's excellent. Or even yoga groups, because there's some you can find that provide free yoga with a donation, of course. But just keep that in mind. These are great ways to interact with folks, or even just get your toes wet into wanting to socialize with others and actually taking the step to either go to a physical event or join like a Zoom session. This is the best for meeting new people and great for trying new activities or getting out of your comfort zone. I would highly suggest this. So online forums and discussion boards. This is another type of bulletin board type of interaction you can have with others. This allows you to talk with people that share similar interests, discuss particular topics. Let's start off with Reddit. I personally use this website a bunch. Reddit is a website that is made up of different communities called subreddits, where people can post, comment, and vote on content. So let's use the example to our right real quick. Like I mentioned, every community within Reddit is called a subreddit, like a subcategory. If you can see on the top of this image to the right of this lovely cat, it says r/cats. So what that means is that this group or this subreddit is dedicated to cats. The post that this person made was a video of a friendly neighbor returning their cat. It was a Ring doorbell video, and it's so adorable, of a neighbor bringing a cat over to their neighbor's house. I guess the cat came over to their place, similar to the situation that I had. Below that video, you can see some numbers here. There's an up arrow and a down arrow with the number 15K here. So this is a way to vote on the content, because the way Reddit works is that any content you post gets voted on, and anything that has a higher number gets shot to the top of the list. So it's going to get more eyes on that. So as we can see here on the bottom of this video, there's an up arrow, which means yes, I like this video, and a down arrow, that means I dislike this. But this person received 15,000 upvotes, or that's what they call it, upvotes. It's a positive yes to this video content. They had 137 comments on the video, and that little box of a cat is just like a little reward they got. But either way, this is a great way of discussing a particular topic or a particular subject with others. You can find information on most any topics. Like I said, on Facebook groups, if there's an interest you have, you can find it. Even more so on Reddit. It is very niche. If you have like the most curious interest in something that you think that no one in the world knows about, you will find someone else on reddit.com that shares those same interests with you. So just throwing that out there. This website's going to be great for finding communities to discuss your favorite topics or interests. Quora. So this is a great website if you like looking up questions that people are asking, or you like answering people's questions about particular topics, because this is all about sending questions to strangers or to the public and getting responses back. This is an app where people can ask questions and get answers from real people. It covers all types of topics, from health and travel to history and technology. If we look to the right side here with this image, it says here, what restaurant makes the best hamburgers or cheeseburgers? On the bottom of this question, there's another set of numbers, 29. So that means 29 people said, yes, they like this question or they want to learn more about it. So they said, let's upvote this so that we can get that sent to the top. And then to the right of this number is 18 comments. So there were 18 people that may have put in their opinion about what restaurant makes the best hamburgers and cheeseburgers. So then you can go from there and explore other people's answers for you or about that topic. And it's the same thing about medical questions. I have this rash somewhere. Does anyone else have something like this? What could that mean? So just keep in mind that you are able to receive responses from experts, everyday people, and companies and organizations. All these three folks, they use Quora to get information across to folks. You have to get verified on Quora, especially if you are a professional answering questions. So let's say you are a licensed veterinarian and you want to answer questions for folks that may have questions about their animals. You can do that, but you must get verified by the website itself before it will tell everyone that you are a professional veterinarian. Once you go through the application process or the account creation, it will let folks know that you are a certified veterinarian. This is a great website or application for getting your questions answered, whatever you may have. This is the perfect website when people say there are no such things as stupid questions. If you feel as if that's the case, like you have a stupid question, perfect place to ask it on Quora. I personally still believe that there are no such things as stupid questions, but just throwing that out there. Next up, we're going to be talking about online dating very briefly here. So think of online dating as a modern day personal ad, but instead of the newspaper, it's now on a website or an application. It helps people meet new friends or romantic partners. So remember, there are some applications that may necessarily look like it's for online dating, but it could be for meeting friends, just for a platonic friendship. Right? So just keep that in mind. How does online dating work? So just like social media, we have to first create a profile. It's sort of like introducing yourself to others. Just like on the photo to the right over here, you add your main image or your main set of photos, and you write a little bit about yourself. Like, hi, my name's Jacob. I like going on long walks and going on adventures, whatever it is. Like you mention your hobbies or what kind of a person you'd like to meet. And then once you answer the questions that the website is asking you, because they may ask like, oh, what is your preferred type of relationship? Or what do you like to do on the weekends? And then once you answer those questions, these online dating platforms try to match you with the people that also share the same interests as you. May not always work out properly, but it tries its best to do that. Like it says here, number 2, the website or app suggests people based on what you wrote in the profile. And some apps let you click yes if you're interested or no if you are not. Like I mentioned before, sliding into DMs, but now if you've heard the term swiping left or right on someone, that refers to online dating. Usually, if you see this image here on the right with John, if the person looking at John did not want to meet him, she would swipe her finger to the left. But if she was interested, she would swipe to the right. And if John also swiped right on her profile, they'll match. But let's get into it further. So once both people say yes to each other, you can then start chatting. And it's sort of similar to WhatsApp, where you can do a message to folks, you can send a text message. Some applications allow you to actually do a phone call or a video call on the application itself. So you don't even have to give the person your own phone number. Just throwing that out there. We're going to be talking about two dating apps. So the first one we're going to be discussing is Bumble. This is an online dating application that you can use on your phone or your computer. The difference here, or the main gimmick, folks would say, for this online dating app is that the women on the app make the first move. They send the first message to the person they're matched with. Usually on dating apps, that's not the case. So they try to change things up where the women get to respond first before the conversation actually begins. Just like what we talked about before, if you don't like the person that you're looking at on their account, you can swipe left or you can swipe right for yes. And then you will match up with the person, just like Sally and Mark over here. Maybe they like each other and they match together. And then we take it from there. Like right below where it says Sally, there's some information here. She says, I'm a creative achiever who spends her retirement in new creative pursuits. I love trying new things and I'm always up for a new challenge. So if Mark over here is interested in that, he would swipe right, and hopefully Sally would also swipe right and they'll get matched. But keep in mind, like I said before, Bumble is mainly for online dating, but there is something called Bumble BFF, and that's literally for finding friends. It's the same process. If you like the person that you're looking at, like you would want to be friends with them, you would swipe right. But if you feel as if you wouldn't be good friends with this person, you can swipe left. The reason why a lot of women prefer to use this application is, one, it's safer, just because it gives control over who starts the conversation. And there's actually some security measures in place to make sure that there's a safe connection being made. Next up is Hinge. This is a great website for those that want to seek long-term relationships, I would say. This is a website that encourages conversation and deeper connections. There's something called prompts that you can have on your profile. So you can say, what's your favorite movie? Or what's your favorite horror movie? If someone's interested in you, they can type on that writing prompt and say, oh, hey, I like Halloween, or whatever it is that they like. And so they can form that connection and see if they like each other from there. Instead of swiping left or right, like in Bumble, you either like their profile, there's like little hearts next to their image. If you look at Nicole on the left over here, you can see on the bottom right, there's a little heart, and you can press that little heart to say that you like that person or you like their photo. And if someone likes you back, that's how you get matched. And then you can have a conversation from there and take things from there. The goal of Hinge is to help users find long-term connections and to eventually delete the application itself. I don't know if anyone's seen their commercials, but their whole premise is like, we want to make sure that you have a good long-term relationship, so much so that you no longer need us. So the app is designed to be deleted, as its slogan says. So next up, there's a lot of details here, but we'll be brief. Safety applications. So we're going to talk about two of them. First up is Citizen App. This is an application that gives you real-time safety notifications about what's happening in the neighborhood. This can be a blessing and a curse because sometimes people say ignorance is bliss. Just keep this in mind. If there's a robbery that's happening, if something went down in your neighborhood, you will get a notification and it will let you know how far away from you that activity has happened. So if you're walking home and you see on your screen, oh, someone just got robbed on the way I'm going home from, let me go a different route. So that can be useful. But once again, sometimes ignorance is bliss, but it's up to you if you would like to get real-time alerts. One thing that you may see is that there may be some false claims or false entries on the app because a lot of it is user created. For instance, I needed to find the owner of the cat that came into my apartment. So on Citizen App, I posted a video and wrote down, found cat. If you know the owner, let me know. And I was instantly given 30 comments from people within like 3 minutes. They were all saying you should keep the cat. But my point being is that you can get information out there very quickly. And so if you were to see something going down in your neighborhood, God forbid, maybe there was a robbery or something, you can post that on Citizen App to let others know. So just throwing that out there. But they also utilize police scanners, I believe, to post what's happening around the neighborhood. So you can get safety checks, video reports, things like that. So this is for folks that want to stay aware of local crime or emergencies in their neighborhood. Next up is MyChart. This is a great feature for healthcare to provide secure access to your medical records, doctor's appointments, and test results. So you can check your past appointments, your test results, your prescriptions, book appointments with your doctor, message your doctor, all of that. It's great, and it's just something good to have just so that you have some easy access to your appointments and all that information. So you're not needing to go to the hospital or the clinic for unnecessary visits because you have all the of information at the palm of your hand. Things that you can do to stay safe. Like I mentioned before, for any account that you make, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is, you always have the option of limiting who sees your posts. So not the whole world, but only a certain set of people. So in the settings, usually for any social media account, there should be a privacy setting. And from there, you can make your profile private. Please avoid sharing personal details. So don't post your full address, your phone number, or your financial details on your social media profile for everyone to see. Even if it's private, I would say don't put that much information out there, please. Be aware of fake profiles. So you may get this on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. You may get a random friend request from someone you never knew before. So sometimes those are fake accounts trying to scam you. So just keep that in mind. And the one thing to remember, if it is too good to be true, it most likely is. So if you got a random message from Sue Betty 123, hey, I just found a $100 gift card. I don't know who to give it to. Do you mind if I give it to you? No, that's too good to be true. Avoid clicking on suspicious links. Sometimes you may get a message on Facebook from a random person that you do not know, and it could just be a link. It's not even a hello, how are you? It's just a blue link. A large majority of the time, that can be a scam too. So do not click that. Please, just letting you know that. Never share financial information, especially if a company is messaging you asking for your information. Like if Citibank randomly messaged you like, hey, your banking information needs to be updated. Please provide me with your most recent credit card number and the security number with it. That's an obvious scam. So do not provide that information. Even if they say they're a reputable company, they will be calling you if they really needed you to do something for them. It wouldn't be on Facebook or Instagram that you're getting this request from Citibank or something like that. Verify news before sharing. Fake news spreads quickly, so please check reliable sources. If it's coming from whichever source you are more comfortable with, make sure that it's coming from a reputable source before sharing it with others. Be cautious of viral posts, just because sometimes there may be a thing on Facebook being shared, like an article, that may not be exactly true than what it actually is. So something just to keep in mind, block unwanted messages. You're getting random messages from Betty Sue 123 about a gift card she wants to give you, and you do not want to see that message. Please block her. Please block the number or the account so that you don't have to deal with that anymore. And be mindful of what you post. One thing coming up that I was telling folks this past weekend, vacation time is coming. Summer, please do not post your vacation photos when you're on vacation. That's just letting others know, oh, there's an empty house right now. So please just keep that in mind, because sometimes once something is online, it's hard to remove it. Even if you feel as if it's gone from your profile, it may show up someplace else. So just thinking of something like that. And we like to say like these tips, sort of like the WhatsApp and the Telegrams for that safety concern. This is like locking the front door when you're leaving the house. So it's just a way of defending ourselves from possible scams out there. And last but not least, we have the two major types of scams. One is called phishing. That is where people try to get your information either through like a fake website or trying to get your passwords. So just keep that in mind. They may say, oh, hey, this is Citibank. Please go on this website and log in. And then when you go on that link, it's not citi.com. It's another name that looks very similar to Citi, but the website itself looks like it's from Citibank. What's going to happen there? If you put in your username and password on that registration account or that link, they're going to take that information that you typed in and keep it for themselves, because now they have your username and your password on their computers because you went onto that suspicious link and you typed in very sensitive information. And another thing, online dating risks. There's a thing called a romance scam. This goes to not just online dating, but just dating in general or friendships in general. If months are going by, things are seeming okay, but at some point, the person you're seeing or the friend that you're with, they're saying, oh, I'm trying to get to you, but I lost my Metro card or whatever it is. Do you mind giving me a gift card so I can buy a new Omni card? When they say gift card, huge red flag, because even if you go to the store and you get some gift cards, some staff will ask you, are you being scammed right now? So that's a huge red flag when people are asking for gift cards. And then it can go from there to larger asks, so from going from $20 of a gift card to a $100 gift card or $500 gift cards. So just keep that in mind. If there's any money that's being asked for, raise up those flags, because those are something to look out for, especially once people gain your trust. And we have some tips to stay safe.